Hello and welcome.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Before we begin, I would like to ring the meditation singing bowl to clear space and energy, and then we can get started. Oops. All right. So, I'm hearing an echo. Do you have like this open in a different?
No. Hold on. Oh, let me turn off of YouTube. Nope.
Okay.
Now I have everything. How does it sound to you now?
Hello, testing. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, first of all, thank you for joining us today. We have a special guest, and her name is Jamie. And I hope you all welcome her onto this channel. She is a healer, a medium, and also a hypnotherapist. So, welcome, Jamie.
Thank you, Sandy. I feel so honored to have be on your channel. And I'm a Scorpio moon.
Yeah. So we have something in common, right?
Yes. We both know the woes of a Scorpio moon.
Yeah. So I have here Shabaka Wookie. She is one of our moderators here on the channel. And Alicia. So yeah, she's a regular here. So yeah, just tell us like what is it that you do and a little bit more about yourself.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So I am by trade a clinical hypnotherapist. I started off in the spiritual world, first through uh, hypnotherapy. So I was a trained hypnotherapist working in trauma therapy. And what I started to notice working with clients is they started to have past life experiences when they were under, because part of the process that I use is to regress people back to the memory or the moment a trauma or an emotional conflict, wound happened. And part of that, when I first started to do that, and people would start to have past life stuff, I didn't have a reference point for it. So I started to research. And it was about a similar time where I started getting curious. And I think came across stuff like law of attraction and Abraham Hicks. And so I was really getting curious about the spiritual world and these universal laws. So it was a great time that I was kind of spiritually awakening without even realizing it. And that started to get me interested in connecting to the higher self. So part of my training was like psychology and a background in counseling, like understanding attachment theory. So I took that and started to like marry it with some of the things I was learning in the spiritual world. And so when the therapy I started doing was connecting people to their higher selves without even realizing I was doing it. And then because when somebody's under, I have to go into trance as well. I have to go into a very present state, connecting to my higher self. So that's what started me to connect even to my higher self. And then in my higher self and my spirit team, without really realizing, it started guiding me through sessions and developing a healing modality that isn't being utilized by others at this time. So that healing modality is a spiritual technology, and it's part of what I do is guide people into a state of relaxation, where normal hypnotherapists will use that period to just place subconscious suggestions, overriding patterns. What I started to do was use that trance period to guide people to their bodies, to start to feel their sensations and the emotions in their body, because that was like a cue to where they were trapping trauma, trapping emotional wounds, trapping conflicts that they weren't consciously aware of. And so when I started to do that, then started to tune in and realize there's trapped energy and emotion in. And then through doing some more studying and research, realizing that the unconscious mind, the emotional brain, which we call the amygdala, creates what we call shapes, forms, and colors associated with the emotions that get trapped. And so it becomes very easy to understand which emotions you've trapped by the colors that you see when you go into the state of trance. So people will start to see colors related to the emotions that they're being trapped in. They'll see shapes, they might see images. And that is all just information that amygdala is transmitting to say, hey, this is what you stored here. And all that information is stored in our body. And then I've spent the last 5-6 years like diving deep with people to tune into what those emotions are communicating, and starting to allow them to tune into their body's technology that's always trying to alert them, give them information. But the way we've been conditioned in our society is to tune out of our body and tune into the world and what the world says is happening, right? And so started to use this technology first to, I call heal muggles, because I work in a clinic, a doctor's office, a real live space. And so 90% of my clients were people not interested in spiritual development, spiritual awareness, and they were just people that had anxiety, sleep disorders, allergies, insomnia, mental and emotional disturbances. So I was able to like fine tune this process in working with the clinic. And so then I started to branch off and like work with spiritual people that were in the spiritual field, that were looking towards ascension or looking towards healing, so that they could be in relationships with some of the cosmic happenings that are happening now with the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the twin flame community. So I started to be able to apply this healing technology, just not within the medical community, but to also assist in the spiritual community as well.
Yeah, what a difference, but also it kind of works, you know? Yeah. So,
because part of the spiritual process is becoming aware of our trapped emotions, our trapped trauma. And there's the way that we ascend is heal. We have to heal in order to ascend. And there aren't a lot of great modalities out there to assist those on spiritual path that are looking for ascension or looking for union with a twin flame or a divine counterpart, or however way people choose to see that path. So
right.
Yeah.
So I do see here seashells. Can I ask a question? So yeah, you can ask a question. Just go ahead and type it out.
Yes.
And hopefully we can answer the question.
Yeah.
So in regards to the whole twin flame thing, I know that both you and I have been working on your particular modality for some time, and I don't know if you had the opportunity to look back on our emails.
Oh yeah, we go back far. We actually go back farther than that. The healing through with the twin flame connection and healing. We go back as far as RSR. That's how we met.
Right. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, and I've talked to this about to my OGs who have been with me on the channel for a long time, but I always talk about like RSR or SRT, like
Yes.
spirit release therapy, to kind of clear energies of like things that could be stuck in your auric field. That's the whole reason why I created those bath products. I don't know if you knew that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't.
so I created like bath products and stuff, and essentially I did it so that people could actually clear their energy. It wasn't just a typical bath bomb or bath product, and you would use this under the new moon and the full moon,
Yeah.
and that was the whole like thing, because I saw that there was a lot of stuff that was on people's energetic fields,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that that is my gift, I guess, is I can see people's auras,
Yeah.
and so like when I see people's auras, I can see that something is like bothering them, and again, that's the whole color thing that you're talking about, but we actually do it through hypnosis, which is
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool because both you and I were separate. You're on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, and we're only seeing each other through the internet, and
Yeah.
to be able to connect to each other through a state of trance is actually pretty cool. And we've done a lot of healing
Yes.
throughout
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think. So what year did we train with RSR?
I really don't know. I
You
want
guys
to say
20.
I think we've been in this for at least 2, maybe 3 years, maybe.
Yes.
I want to say 3 years
Yeah.
because when we got together, it had to have been at least a year because Dr. Palmer passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on we reconnected, with each other.
Yeah.
Um,
I looked at my notes and it looks like in October 2022 is when we started to do the hypnotherapy healing.
okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I want to say like maybe it was like 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I remember that I was in the group with the hypnotherapist, and
Yeah.
I just chose to go that way instead of going with other psychics.
Yeah.
It wasn't my cup of tea. Like, I
Yeah.
really want to be with scientific people, like people with degrees and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not only that, I wanted to learn from Dr. Palmer himself, because it was brought to my attention that he was the one who created that through the hypnosis community.
Yeah,
So,
he created. Well, yeah, he was a psychologist and a psychiatrist,
mhm,
and he was noticing a lot of the patients where actually were dealing with more than mental, emotional health issues.
right.
There were disturbances that were happening to them and with them that would, and they're realizing that they were spiritual attachments that were
Mhm.
causing those distortions in their thoughts and emotions. And so he worked with mediums and hypnotherapists to start to like see what was happening on the spiritual level with people's fields and like entities and cords and auric fields and parasites that are
Yeah.
all yeah
ETs.
ETs, all the different things that unless you're I mean, I know when I came into SRT that I was just blown away about the amount of different ways that dark energies and entities can compromise someone's field.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I was doing psychic work, I wasn't aware that I had my auric field wide open, and I
Mm-hmm.
should be like opening and closing my auric field through every session that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you, not all psychic mediums do this.
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't do it. Like, I just kind of let myself open. But I did notice a difference. Like when I open the energy and I close off my energy, then I'm just continually protecting myself from
Yeah.
having like any disturbance energies to infiltrate, I guess, my reads
Yeah.
as I connect, with, the spirit guides and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it
Um,
was like really interesting.
yeah. Yeah. And that work is great. And there's, a vast amount of like mediums and hypnotherapists that use that SRT tool that are facilitators and but also practitioners of it.
Mhm.
And I think it helps, people get clear, but if you don't clear the emotional and component, the trauma, like the trauma that's causing the vulnerabilities to attachments, then you're just going to attract entities back. You're just going to
Right.
attract.
It's kinda like a Band-Aid. It's like
Yes.
a temporary fix, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. And then to start working on the emotional and spiritual component that's attracting these entities into your field. And that's where there's some overlap in the work that I do, is that once people are able to get clear and into their own energy, and they know what their field should feel like when they're not compromised, then
Mhm.
that's when you start to like go, okay, so what are my vulnerabilities? Do I have emotional trauma, either this life or a past life, that is affecting me in this lifetime?
Mhm.
And that's where this work kind of jumps in, is where I would guide people into a state of relaxation where they're able to then feel their emotional body and feel into where those wounds are embedded. And then once there, then I will guide them. Sometimes it's quick, easy release where you can just kind of dust off the surface. The higher self will come through and just clear that energy really quickly. Or it's deeper and it needs to be explored. It may be connected to a past life, and it may be the higher self may want to have the person understand what pattern this wound is causing for them, how
Right.
it's triggering them and affecting them. So yeah, once we are able to get into the memory, then they're able to see, oh, I was 5 years old and my parents were yelling in the other room, and that made me go into a fight or flight response, and I feel scared, and that's why in this now I get paralyzed or panic when other people yell. Anger makes me very uncomfortable. So
Mhm.
then once you heal that, you can be around people that are angry and it makes you comfortable, because that's the only reason it would make you uncomfortable, is because there's a trauma connected to it.
Right.
You
Like an
know?
association of some sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
The brain creates neuro associations, like X plus Y equals Z. So yelling anger means I'm unsafe. Bad
Mhm.
things will happen. Right.
Mhm.
And so that sends the nervous system into a sense of flight or flight. Yeah. And what's kind of eye-opening is that most adults are in a fight, flight, freeze, fawn, fib pattern 90% of their waking life.
Mhm.
And most children children, when they're children, aren't in it, but it's like as they become traumatized, it's like that ratio is like maybe they are in 10% of flight, and then they go to 30, and then by the time they're a teenager, they're in like 50% fight or flight, and then adulthood. And
So I have a quick question for you.
mhm,
Would it be beneficial for like a teenager to go under hypnosis like while they're still like young,
yes.
so they don't bring it on until adulthood?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a 20-year-old son and a 17-year-old daughter, and both of them I've used this technique with them several times, like many times. My
Mhm.
daughter's since she's been 13, she's been going under. So so anytime she's having emotional dysregulation, I just bring her into a state, find the emotion that is buried, suppressed, and then we clear it, and she's fine. And so what
Mhm.
it does, it actually preserves them, so that when they go into adulthood, they're not in fight or flight, flee, fawn response.
Right.
They're in that space so much less than other adults are. So it
Mhm.
increases their their experience of life as well. Increases the joy and all those what we call maybe higher level emotions
Mm-hmm.
we're so free to feel when we're children, but become so difficult to access as adults because most adults spend so much time in fight, flight, freeze. We call it fawn, which is people pleasing, and then fib, which is denying reality, which is like essentially a sense of lying to self and lying to others.
Mm-hmm.
So when you spend 90% in that range, life becomes very difficult and arduous and frustrating. Yeah.
So my question is that you have like this specific modality that you have created,
Mm-hmm.
and how long have you been working on this? And like, what is the pool of people that you've experimented or
Yeah.
used this on?
Yeah. I mean, I have worked with as young as 9 years old,
Mm-hmm.
actually 7. I don't prefer under 9, but I have worked with a couple younger um, children. Then lots of teens. I've worked with a lot of teens because of my children are teens and they have a friend pool, but as well as people know that I work with teens. So I get a lot of referrals for teens. And these are people that I would just say muggles. They're not necessarily coming for spiritual development or spiritual ascension. Then
Mm-hmm.
I have, a lot in the 30, 40, 50 range that are going through life transitions, divorces, loss of loved ones. So they're processing out grief. It's just a lot of more dense emotions.
Right.
Yeah, that if they leave those unaddressed, those are just going to manifest into diseases, illnesses, relational disruptive patterns.
And the interesting part is that you may think, or not you yourself, but like a normal person may not think that they don't have any issues, but like even for myself, like when I tried it with you, a lot
Mhm.
of a lot of stuff came out, guys. Like
I
like,
know.
oh my God, like from childhood up until like, because we would go back and forth through different times of my life, based off of like any of the difficulties that I would have, and then you will actually kind of go through it and see where did the root of cause, where did it actually come from, and then changing and transmuting that energy
Mhm.
into something positive, and so that would actually heal whatever that thing is,
Yeah.
and seal it and seal the deal, right? So that we can all move on and live a happy life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I could vouch, guys, like Jamie and I, we've been doing these sessions for a while now, and I can tell you that one of the things that I requested was to get over my twin flame. I wanted to get over my twin. I didn't want to think about him anymore. And I kid you not, I was able to get over my twin. And basically, I was able to manifest someone who is more on the same vibrational frequency as I am. And I'm so much happier now.
Mhm.
So, all of the healing work that I have done with Jamie has been top notch.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah, not only that, also like with my family, I had issues with my mom, and other situations like my relationships with my children. I mean, we went through everything.
Yeah, I remember those. I looked at the
Yeah,
notes and from some of
yeah,
those sessions.
we went through everything. So my whole life. So we went through it all, and I can vouch that this healing technique actually works. So thank you so much. Like, you've
Oh,
helped me so much more than you know. So
oh,
thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. That's beautiful. I
You're welcome.
appreciate that.
Yeah. No, you're helpful, and that's why, that's what we're here to do, as light workers, and
Yeah,
to help heal the community.
yeah,
That's what this channel is all about, is to learn about oneself, and it's really about healing from within first,
mhm, yeah,
before you can actually have a proper relationship outside of yourself,
yeah,
which is something I've always advocated. So it doesn't necessarily have to be with a twin flame, it could be with a soulmate.
mhm,
Maybe the twin is a catalyst for you to heal those things that are inside, but realizing your self worth, and understanding, like, not everybody is perfect also, but that doesn't mean that you should accept any kind of behaviors that is unacceptable, right?
yes,
Because we were all born with a sense of right and wrong, you know um and so, yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic, but it gets complicated as we become adults.
yeah. And we're carrying, we're not just carrying our trauma, we're carrying
Hmm.
our ancestral trauma,
Right.
the generational trauma, the lineage trauma.
Hmm.
And so this lifetime, most light workers are carrying enormous amounts of trauma that
Right.
that they, maybe on a soul level agreed to transmute in this lifetime. And that's why it's like so exciting that I've been able to take this work out of the clinical practice, but also support light workers and their journeys so that they can begin to heal some of this trauma so they can then feel empowered to do the work that they came here to do.
Yeah, and as you know, like, we were in like a little session doing our SRT stuff, and one of the things is that we would practice on each other, like, to go under the hypnosis and do the clearing, because
Mm-hmm.
it just seems like no matter how much we clear, little bits come back,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the world right now is going through a transition. And so there's a
purging
lot
going on.
purging. And so that purging, and people that aren't conscious or, connected to the spiritual path, aren't aware of that their trauma starting to vibrate up, and
Hmm.
they're projecting all their trauma. If you aren't processing your trauma, if you're not feeling it through, sitting with it, then it gets projected out. And so that trauma by the collective is being like projected out, which is increasing the negative energy that is out there. So it's really easy to pick up something when you're out in the world and you're connecting with people and groups. So that's why it's really helpful to have a tool to kind of to clear that energy, because
Hmm.
sometimes you start to manifest emotionally what you might have picked up out in the world.
Right, it may not have been, like, your personal energy, but you picked
Yes.
up off of someone else, and you're like, "What the heck is this?
Yeah.
I need to clear," like, "Psst, psst," like.
Yeah, like energy is contagious as a cold. It's not more contagious. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
you have to be if you go out there. I mean, this we're getting out of cold and flu season, but like we're not out of negative energy season. It's
Right.
at its highest right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah, there's a lot that's going on,
Yeah, I wish they had. You know how you have, and the Weather Channel has the pollen counts and updates daily
mhm.
for people with allergies. And I wish they had that relative to negative energy count. What's out there, what you should
Uh-huh.
be aware of.
Yeah, I actually have a call from my son's school. Can
Oh,
I take this real
yes,
quick?
yes, yes,
Okay, hold
yes.
on. Hello? Hi, how are you?
Hi to everybody out there. I, does anybody have any questions while Sandy is away? I'm going to turn into comments. I'm looking at comments right now. Let's see. This is great. I'm so glad I was able to catch you both. Let's see. Jamie, do you do quantum hypnosis? What are your thoughts on that? I do not do quantum hypnosis. I have been a receiver of quantum hypnosis. When I first started being curious about the spiritual world, oh, hi, Sandy. I'm just answering a question from Shabbat.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I did experience, so I was exploring the spiritual end of hypnosis, and I did do a quantum session with somebody. My higher self came through. It didn't take me to any past life, and my higher self just answered questions for me, and it was at the very beginning of my exploration into this world of spiritual healing. The technique I use can take you to past lives where people can explore. The difference between quantum hypnosis and the modality that I use is my modality is specific to trauma healing and emotional wounding resolution.
Which I think that is really the whole gist of hypnosis therapy. It's not about regressing and going into past lives, which could be a cool concept, but really it's like, why do we need to connect to our past? It's to look for information of something that hasn't been resolved.
Exactly.
Because stuff is popping up in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So.
And I find like people can get really attached to, like, when they do these past life regressions, they can really get attached to the past life versions of themselves, and be stuck in, that pattern. And so, or they just leave room for confusion and how that past life is,
Well, I can say my most recent past life was I was a man. I was a boy. And in my past life, I saw that the girl that I was into, it was more of a platonic situation, and I saw that she was happier with another man. And it kind of made me sad. And it made me feel like I wasn't good enough, or I was like, because I felt like, we had this awesome friendship in that lifetime. But the thing about that life was that I died early. I know, right? So, but the takeaway message that I got from that hypnosis session was that I should just be happy. I should just not hold on to, life is too short. Just be aware of the situation, and it's not the end all of life. It's okay. It's okay that happened. If it didn't work out, it didn't work out. I shouldn't waste my whole life pining over someone who doesn't want me, Yeah. So that's what I got from that lifetime. I know that some of that stuff carried on into this lifetime, because as a Scorpio moon, I will hold on to a relationship for dear life. But I realized that sometimes, the length of time of wanting a relationship to work, you'll notice that after a period of time, maybe it was just for the best. But it took that length of time to be aware of the situation. So yeah, it sucks, but hey, people learn differently. Sorry, guys. Just being honest.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes, the what doesn't get resolved in a past life. Well, all the times, actually one of my closest friends, and what I call a surrogate I've used, and I'll talk a little bit about the surrogate work I do, but she is primarily a hypnotherapist that does only past life regressions. And so she talks about the reason we have past lives is like this lifetime is really about the integration of those past lives. What didn't get healed and resolved in those past lives, we're getting an opportunity in this lifetime to like integrate those past lives and start to heal them so that we feel healed and whole in this lifetime.
That makes sense because in a Buddhist sense, because I am a Buddhist practitioner,
Yeah.
Buddhism is about like, like being reborn, like reincarnation. But the whole thing about reincarnation is that, we have karma, unfinished karma that needs to be resolved. If we didn't have any karmic lessons and we lived like a good final life, then we have the option to go into nirvana, which, very few people would be willing to do unless you're like a demigod who wants to be a healer and come back and heal like all the broken souls, into the next life. And so, um, I really hope that people can attain the state of nirvana if they want. But the problem is that people are too attached to like feeling hurt, sad, depressed. And it's such a hard thing because it's a very human experience.
Yeah. And emotions, like what I feel like it happens both ways is where we get attached and we want, like, people get attached to feeling hurt because the ego wants to justify like why they stay in that space. And emotions are supposed to be felt, processed through, and released. They're not supposed to be held within us as emotional baggage. The way our nervous system works is, yes, it's human to feel hurt when somebody betrays you or abandons you or neglects you, but both the conscious and the unconscious holding of that hurt, that betrayal, will create karma for you and the other that you will have to then, if you don't resolve it in this lifetime, you will incarnate again to attempt to resolve it.
Yeah. So, in previous sessions, I've noticed that if we regress into like our past lives, we have like this similar experience, but like different like bodies and situations, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a thing there, no correlation.
And now, so it's like that's and that can happen when the twin flames community as well, and in the it's not just twin flame relationships, but it can be divine counterparts such as the divine feminine, divine masculine, that incarnated as well, and that can be seen as a twin flame relationship, or I've seen it also be soul partner, soul connection, or soul contract relationships. We make those relationships so that we can resolve that trauma and then this lifetime, and so when you do meet a twin flame or a cosmic connection or a soul partner or a soul mate, they're going to trigger you. They're going to trigger all those parts of you that have been left unresolved and healed. And that triggering process can be very emotionally draining, chaotic. And if you don't necessarily have the tools like to work through those triggers, it can be very devastating. And a lot of people can stay in those devastating loops for years.
Yeah, because they don't want to work through it. It's just too hard.
It is so hard. Yeah. I spent the last year doing it myself with my counterpart. And I have this amazing tool, but it was still super hard.
Yeah.
You still had to feel things that you want to repress. You still have to move through those things that you want to repress. And you have to say, okay, I'm hurt by this. I'm not going to stay hurt by it for 2 days. You have an option how long you want to hold on to that pain.
Right.
It can be 2 days. It could be 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades, 2 eons. It's your choice. That's where free will comes.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
I know.
But I can tell you, it's definitely very triggering and hard, and we may seem very toxic to go
Mhm.
through a twin flame triggering pattern relationship.
Yeah, it is. Um, it's not great, guys, as you know. It's
No,
very challenging.
yeah.
But Cece, she has a question and she asks, "Can we do hypnosis on our own?"
Self-guided, there are some YouTube self-guided hypnosis, such as to connect to your higher self. The modality that I use, no, it cannot be utilized like self-directed, because
Mhm.
when you are in that state of trance, you're connecting to the higher self. So there does need to be a facilitator that
Right.
is guiding the higher self. It's like, I always say I am like a computer technician. When somebody's under, I'm guiding the higher self, like, oh, point here, click here, do this next thing. So that direction is coming through. And you do want somebody to that actually knows what they're doing once they get into the under roof of your brain.
Right,
Because
yeah.
you don't want somebody tinkering in there that isn't trained. Is because there can be mistakes that can be made. I use a language technology called NLP.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. Have you familiar with it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I have, like, the whole thing that I still need to, like,
Oh yes,
process.
you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I it's neuro linguistic programming. So it's a word. It's a language of the brain. It's the way the brain operates. So once you learn it, you know how to navigate around the neural technology of the brain. So I would definitely say that to heal, that you definitely want somebody that knows NLP, that can override the ego, the partitioning a part of the brain that wants to like be activated. So you definitely want somebody skilled in that area.
Yeah, and it does take practice, before you can,
Yeah.
like, do it on a professional level, so,
Yes, exactly. I
yeah.
see somebody has something about massive night sweats. Um
Mhm.
Yeah, that you can heal that. Night sweats are usually coming from some type of trauma that's being expressed out during the night. Yeah. So it's like, so a lot of people's bodies go into fight, flight, flee response in the nighttime because of nightmares as a child. I've healed a lot of people with experiences as a child having entities attached to them or attack them in the sleep state or in the more of a vulnerable state and so when we go back, they're 3 years old and they see a dark shadow that's like infringing
Scary.
on them. Yeah,
Mhm.
children have amazing connection to spirit and to the spirit realm at those ages, and they can see things that adults can't see. So
Right.
right.
Mhm.
And so yeah, so that those can be healed as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. So, like, if someone were, to, like, have a session with you, like, how would that happen?
Oh yeah. They could connect with me, and we'd set up for people that we around the country and the world. We would do Zoom sessions. I did
Mhm.
somebody who it was from Norway the other day. So
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, and
that's
that's
where my man is from.
really, oh my god, that's so funny. I
Yeah,
didn't even make that connection.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
that's
So it's
weird.
it's it's one thing, like quantum hypnosis, they don't allow Zoom sessions. So this modality, I can work with people with Zoom sessions. Somebody asked about sleep terrors. Yes, sleep paralysis. People who get that, it's usually uh, a state of when they were a child and they saw or an entity was in their space.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
they.
she broccoli, she used to live in the woods.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's, Canadian. But she lived, like, away from, like, the city, like, more in, like the woods, more
Yeah.
secluded. So that could have been a thing.
Yeah.
Um,
So, Sandy, do you want to take like 10 minutes, 15 minutes and do just like a mini session? Like I can like guide you through, and we would just do a short session and just see anything that comes up. And then what I will do is just kind of sample it to see how I would guide you into that state. Would
yeah,
you?
sure. Just don't dig deep, okay?
Okay, I promise. I promise. We'll just do a surface. We'll just do a surface as we'll just do a surface level scan and see if there's anything. Oh, what we'll do is the caffeine that you said you were feeling a
Mhm.
little jittery. We'll tune into that energy and
Oh, and release it.
yeah, and release it. How does
Okay.
that
Yeah.
sound? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a nice deep breath in. And just begin to feel your being body releasing, relaxing, letting go. And as you release, relax, let go, feel your entire body releasing, relaxing, taking another deep breath in. And on this exhale, just feel your shoulders, your arms, your hands opening. And as your body opens, begin to tune into the sound of my voice, allowing my voice to guide you into a deep state of relaxation and connection. That's right. And as you continue breathing, begin to now place your awareness on your eyes. And as you focus on your eyes, begin to notice that they have softened with relaxation. And as you notice the softening, begin to feel and recognize your entire body releases, relaxes even deeper. And as you relax deeper, begin to now place your awareness behind your eyes, to the space and place behind your eyes that visualizes, creates pictures, images, and begin to imagine and see there's a door at the center of your mind. See that door now. What color do you see that door as?
It's navy blue.
And as you tune into this navy blue door, begin to see its opening into pure light. And as you open, it opens into pure light. I'm just calling in our guides, the beings of the highest light, to begin to protect this space, this session, this energy. And as these guides protect this space, I'm beginning to notice and see that a beautiful silver dome is now being created around you and me, this session, this space, and all those connected. And now begin to see this light transform into a meadow with flowers surrounding you in all directions. Begin to picture those flowers now. What color flowers do you see?
Red and yellow.
And as you look at those flowers, begin to look into the meadow with the flowers and notice and see the highest version of you standing there waiting to greet you. And as you look and see her, begin to notice the twinkle in her eyes, the smile on her lips. And as you connect to her, begin to give her permission to merge with you, to speak through you, to heal you. Sandy, when I count to 3, the highest part of you is going to merge. Simply allow that information to flow through you. 1, 2, and 3. Speaking to the highest part of Sandy, I'd like you to tune into her being and body, to the space she's felt the excess energy from the caffeine. Sandy, when I count to 3, you're just going to feel that sensation in your body. 1, 2, and 3, feel it now. Begin to feel it. Where do you feel the sensation most deeply? Where do you feel this in your body? Oh, hi. It looks like we lost connection. We're just going to wait and see if Sandy connects again. Does anybody have any questions? Doesn't work on me. I saw an entity. Hypnosis. My hypnosis used a weighted blanket to help ground me. Regular doesn't work on me. Yeah. Yeah. I often will use connecting to the higher self and ask the higher self to energetically ground someone when they are having issues grounding. That is, and then I use NLP, suggestions for the brain to allow for the brain to relax even deeper. So there's, out of the hundreds of sessions I've done, I probably think there's been only 1 to 2 times that hypnosis has not worked. I tried to see a door, nothing. I'm being blocked off because of a guy. Yeah. Usually what I would do is say that for you to tune into your energy body and claim that you are sovereign, safe, and protected before you begin, so that no other entities or beings can use your field. So yeah. Let's see. And then let's see. What does anybody have any other comments or questions? What I would say to so what I would use this for is to continue to work on the embedded traumas. I was invested in that. I saw a red color door. LOL. Oh, you did see a red door. Did you see your higher self come through? Cece, were you able to see your higher self? Or see flowers? Oh, wow. That's amazing. Sometimes when people can't see doors, what I will instruct them to see is a door that they've seen recently. So if somebody says, I don't see a door, what I will do is I will have them tune in and begin to picture a door they walked through recently. Maybe it's their front door. Maybe it's the door of an office building. Maybe it's the door of a mother or friend. But they begin to picture and imagine that door. That usually helps somebody to tune in and bring their visual cortex online. Often the visual cortex is not used or exercised a lot by the adult brains. And so they're less familiar in how to access and orient towards the visual cortex of the brain. So I use a lot of visual imagery and prompting in the beginning to bring someone into trance deeper. Visualization allows the ego mind to step back. And so do you use sound frequencies? Yes and no. So in office, in the clinic that I work in, I do use sound frequencies as background, for the clients in office. During Zoom sessions, I don't, because they can also kind of distort the sound between myself and the clients. It can be, so if a client wants to use sound frequencies on their end, they're more than welcome to, but I don't do them on my end, only because they can distort like sound and hearing, what I can hear coming through the client, but also what the client hears through me. So it's a bit more complicated. I merge the spirit when they go. His ancestors are very powerful. I need to keep other parasitic. Yeah. Yes, I see that. I can see how that would be the case. Let's see. Another thing is, part of my spiritual path has been, when I first started doing hypnotherapy, I started to, what I think we referenced it earlier, surrogate work, where because I can't do this work on myself, I started to have surrogates. So those that, because we're all actually connected through space and time. We all of our all the information that's stored in our field is available to everyone and anyone. So what I started to do to heal myself was to use surrogates. Sandy has surrogated for me before, and I will just guide them into a state of relaxation, connecting them to their higher self, and then connecting them to my higher self, and having our higher selves to then go through my being and body and field and finding areas that have blockages, emotional wounds, traumas, and clearing those. And in the process of doing this work, I started to develop mediumistic abilities. So I now can channel information from my guides, other guides, what people might want to know about themselves, what trauma load they have going in, as well as work with spirit guides to clear entity and other energies before sessions begin. So yeah, I have that ability as well. Yeah. Yes. Sleeping state. Yes. The sleeping state is when you're connected to somebody, can be a vulnerable time for many people. So it's really important at that time to set intentions and also heal anything that makes you vulnerable to that connection, because that being can only, hi. Did something happen with your connection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so strange. I don't even know, but now my monitor won't work.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was weird, but like the whole power went out. And then like I got everything booted, but now my monitor won't work. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to clear my computer.
Yes. Well, Mercury retrograde, we were just talking about that before we begin too. It's like on the, didn't you say that we're in the shadow period now?
Yeah, we're actually in the shadow period, and Mercury retrograde is on the 1st of April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's just a sign of technologies that are going to begin to.
I know. I was like in the state of trance, and I'm like, well, what the heck? What is this?
Yes, that's so crazy. Do you want to go back in, or do you?
Well, I know that you have like an appointment soon, so that is totally up to you. If you want
I have about 10 more minutes that we can connect, and then tie it up afterwards.
Shabaka said, my higher self is saying that my computer is the source of.
Oh yeah. That would make sense.
I'm on this crappy laptop, guys. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we can just. Did you feel that the jitteriness in your body? Because that's when we totally you froze and then it just disconnected. So, were you feeling the jitteriness in your body? Could you isolate it?
It wasn't necessarily a body jitter. It was more like in the upper body somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like maybe in your chest.
Probably, I don't know. But
do you think it might have been like a fight or flight response that you're feeling a little bit?
It could have been.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to just close your eyes and we can just move that energy out for you real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and take a deep breath in.
Let's take this angle here.
Okay. Excellent. And as you begin to breathe, focusing back on the sound of my voice. And as you bring all the awareness to the sound of my voice, begin to bring the awareness now to the flower meadow with the flowers all around you. Picturing seeing your higher self there now, waiting to greet you. And as you see her, begin to give her permission to step forward into your being and body. 1, 2, and 3. Speaking now to the highest part of Sandy. Just like to tune in to that space and place in Sandy's body that felt the jitteriness. And now feel it. Where in your body do you feel it most deeply?
In my heart.
And now feel in your heart and notice the sensations you feel. What sensations do you feel?
I don't know. It feels like worry.
And as you tune into this worry, begin to notice how this worry is affecting your body. How does it affect your body?
Throughout. It irradiates outwards.
And as you feel it radiating outwards, when I count to 3, you're going to become aware of a color in your heart, an energy that's creating this feeling. 1, 2, and 3, see it now. What color do you see?
It's like a dark pink.
And as you notice the dark pink, begin to realize the emotions embedded in this pink. What emotions do you feel?
I want to say empathy. Just feeling concern.
Notice why this energy is causing Sandy to worry. Why is this energy causing her to worry?
Possibly due to my loved one and what he's going through.
And now asking the highest part of Sandy now to transmute this energy and to upgrade it to a powerful energy, an energy that allows her to feel sovereign, safe in her body. Sandy, when I count to 3, you're simply going to take a deep breath in and push this feeling sensation out of your heart. 1, 2, and 3, take that deep breath in. And on the exhale, releasing, relaxing as this energy moves out of your heart, your body. And now realize that energy is now spinning, reshaping, reforming. Now starting to upgrade to a powerful new feeling sensation form. 1, 2, and 3, see it now. What do you see it as now?
White light.
And as you tune into this white light, what do you feel?
Release.
And now when I count to 3, you're going to feel that release, this white light go into your heart. 1, 2, and 3, feel it now. And as it goes into your heart, feel your heart releasing, relaxing, opening. And as you feel this opening, hear your higher self giving you guidance. What do you hear?
It's okay. It's okay that I'm not able to help.
And as you receive this message from the highest part of you, just begin to feel your entire being, body relaxing deeper as you really receive this guidance. And now just asking the highest part of Sandy just to ground her in her body and to ground all her technology. Just see that grounding. What do you see happening?
Just kind of like being connected to the earth.
Excellent. And now asking Sandy's highest self to tune into my higher self. And as you tune into my higher self, asking our higher selves to scan into my heart and notice if there's any energy in my heart that is dense, dark, heavy, achy, throbbing. 1, 2, and 3, feel into my heart. What do you sense in my heart?
Kind of like a low, achy, low.
And as you tune into that achy, see there's a color there. What color do you see?
So like a dark red.
Become aware, what emotions are embedded in this dark red?
I want to say it's more grief. Like a sense of unease.
And as you tune into this energy, is this my energy or someone else's?
It's your energy.
And now as you tune into it, I'd like to now tune in to Josh, the person this energy is connected and related to, and become aware where in his being, his body, this energy is also being felt in him.
I want to say his solar plexus chakra area.
And as you tune into that, become aware there's a color energy it's creating. What color do you see?
The yellow.
What emotions are embedded in that yellow?
I want to say intuition. He's aware.
Awareness of the grief?
Mm-hmm. He's
Oh,
aware.
okay. And become aware how that is affecting him.
He's being more mental than emotional.
And how is that mental affecting him, being mental?
He's only thinking about the mind aspect, not the heart. It's actually like not even associating feelings. It's more of a doing.
And now asking Josh's higher self and my higher self to assist Josh and I in transmuting this feeling, this emotion. When I count to 3, Sandy, you're going to become aware this red pulls out of me, this energy pulls out of him at the exact same time. 1, 2, and 3. And as it pulls out of both him and I, begin to see and picture that energy coming together, spinning, transmuting, starting to upgrade to a powerful new feeling, sensation form. When I count to 3, it's going to become the highest, lightest color, shape, form, frequency, emotion. 1, 2, 3, see it now. What do you see it as now?
Like I want to say ivory light, like a off-white light, creamy.
And as you look at this, become aware how this light will affect Josh and I. What's emotions are in it?
There's a softening, like a softening of emotions.
And now feel and sense that white light going in to both Josh and me. Where does it go into both of us at?
The crown.
And as it goes into our crowns, hear the higher selves giving us a message. What you hear?
Connection. Connect. Kind of like connecting on a higher level for the awareness, and then feeling.
And now become aware why Josh has a difficulty, a block to feeling.
I think he's a man. Sorry, just coming through.
No, that's fine.
That's just typical. This.
I now like to ask now, thanking them for healing, and just that I see white light being sent through Josh and myself. And as you see that white light, just thanking the higher selves for assistance today. And now, Sandy, I'm going to count upwards from 1 to 3. When I get to 3, you're just going to come back into your body feeling grounded, restored, feeling yourself stable in your heart center. 1, feel your feet beneath you. Feel your core strengthening you. Feel your neck and your crown lengthening you. 2, grounding yourself in your being and body. Feel your awareness in your body now. And now 3, all the way back in your body, feeling amazing in every way. Eyes open when you're ready.
They're open. You probably can't see.
Oh, yeah. How do you feel?
I feel good.
You feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. I think I loved being able to do that and to show them how you start. I was talking to you a little bit about the surrogates before when you were disconnected for a little bit. And so I'd like to be able to show them these circuits, and then also to show how we would heal a twin flame, like a trigger within a twin flame relationship, or even a regular relationship, is tuning into the energy in the one and then feeling it in the other and becoming aware how it's affecting them both, and then asking the higher selves to transmute that energy. So that will alleviate triggers that are coming up when people are experiencing them.
That sounds good. Yeah. I mean, do you want me to be a surrogate or?
Oh, yeah, we just did that. Yeah.
I mean, well, so I was thinking, like, for the Twin Flame Collective,
yes,
we could do a collective, like, clearing.
Yes. Yeah.
And whatever comes through, we could bring in our spirit guides and really see, like, what are the stuff, and you could just go through the whole thing. And we can. Yeah.
And maybe we outside of this, we could like talk about maybe setting up a podcast where we have, people that are in the twin flame community or others have relationship that they could put what they're feeling or what their issue is. And then you could surrogate them, and then that healing can happen for them as well.
So would it be easier or better if I took like a questionnaire? And prior to our next session, like if you have anything that you want to heal, or if there's something that's really bothering you, then go ahead and put in your suggestions.
Yes, that would be so perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That I'm actually really excited about that idea. And then we can have this like be a healing circle where those in the community could tell us what their issue is. Like even before we came on, Sandy and I both kind of had an awareness that we both had some stuff that might come up or may not come up. And so when your heart felt that, I knew that I had the heart thing as well. Often, even as healers, we can mirror each other. Like if it's going on in you, then I start to go, oh, it might be going on in me too, because it's just, so we can. But I'm excited to like bring this out to more. And so we can just find out what people are working on or working through, and then once you go under, I can start to guide you through that process. That's really exciting.
Yeah, because we haven't really thought about doing that, right? As a collective healing.
Exactly. Like a collective healing circle. That would just be amazing.
Yeah. And the ones who participate, what we would ask is, have you noticed a difference? Do you feel like the change? Because basically, it would be nice to get some input, from the audience that they actually felt a shift in their their energy. And would you say like it would take like a week or so for them?
It's immediate. The all changes are immediate. It's your awareness of those changes. It's like when you've healed your heart, you go out and like when you connect to your guide, you like, oh, I feel much more stable and relaxed. Or when I connect to I don't feel that ache and that pain. And then I feel like, oh, we're connecting now. It's like you can feel it in your body, but it's the true recognition of healing is when you go out into the world and start to realize that issue is no longer bothering you.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, because I just know that we've been doing this like kind of like in secret or whatnot. And so now that we're out and like, practicing it with the collective, that's actually amazing. I really like that.
Yeah, me too. It offers the collective an avenue to healing that they would not have had before. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. So I'm excited. So, Sandy, be my surrogate.
Oh
man, I wonder what's gonna come out.
Oh, well, it was awesome working with you and being exposed and introduced to your community.
Oh, you're welcome. Like, I'm pretty sure that, people here are receiving your energy as well. And thank you for
Yeah.
spending your time,
Yes.
with us. And we're excited to have you back. So
Yes.
thank you.
My pleasure. It was amazing. Thank you.
Yes. And so, like, I'm going to get, like, your details if somebody wants to contact you directly.
Yes.
I will post it on this video
Okay.
so that people can find you. And yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and then we'll just, we'll check in next time. We'll get together. We'll figure out when's a good time to get
Yeah.
together again for this next session. And yeah, so yeah, I enjoyed it. So thank you.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye-bye.